Gladys, with her powerful contralto, had been the undisputed queen singer of the St. James Pentecostal Church Choir for as long as anyone could remember. Her voice soared, filling the sanctuary with a resonance that felt like divine affirmation. She was the picture of devotion, always the first to volunteer for outreach programs, the tireless organizer of bake sales, the steady hand guiding the younger choristers. Everyone loved Gladys. She was the embodiment of faith in action. Or so it seemed. Minister Amy, a relatively new addition to the pulpit but sharp-eyed and possessing a keen spiritual discernment, began noticing a subtle shift. It started small, a certain gleam in Gladys's eye that wasn't entirely prayerful, a hint of worldliness creeping into her conversation. Then came the whispers, faint at first, like the rustling of dry leaves, but they grew. One Tuesday evening, Amy found herself driving past a rather disreputable-looking establishment on the edge of town, a place known more for its dim lighting and loud music than for its spiritual uplift. Her breath hitched. There was Gladys dressed in a slinky, form-fitting dress that left little to the imagination, emerging from the bar with a boisterous laugh, arm in arm with a man Amy didn't recognize. The next few nights, the pattern repeated. Gladys, adorned in increasingly provocative attire, would disappear into the bar, only to reappear hours later, flushed and giggling, surrounded by a revolving cast of men. The shock was a cold wave washing over Amy. This was not the Gladys who sang hymns with such fervor. This was a stranger, a woman engaged in a public display that was the antithesis of everything she professed to be. Steeling herself, Amy decided to confront Gladys. She found her after choir practice, humming a secular tune under her breath as she packed her music. "Gladys," Amy began gently, "I've seen you going into O'Malley's bar lately." Gladys's head snapped up, her eyes narrowing. Instead of the shame or denial Amy expected, a smirk played on her lips. "And what if I have, Sister Amy?" she drawled, her voice laced with a disdain that chilled Amy to the bone. "Is the Lord's allowance so meager that I can't enjoy a little earthly pleasure?" Amy blinked, stunned by the raw cynicism. "Gladys, this isn't like you. Are you all right?" Gladys laughed, a brittle, grating sound. "All right. I'm more than all right, dear. This church, this choir, it's been a very lucrative arrangement. And honestly," she leaned in conspiratorially, her voice dropping to a mocking whisper, "I joined for the handsome choir leader. He's got a certain something, wouldn't you say?" She then launched into a tirade, her words dripping with venom, criticizing everything from the pastor's sermons to the quality of the offertory envelopes. She even mimicked the pastor's gentle cadence with cruel accuracy. Numbed by the revelation, Amy sought out Reverend Thomas. She explained, her voice trembling, the shocking truth about Gladys's motivations and her increasingly public dissent. Reverend Thomas listened patiently, his expression unreadable. When Amy finished, he simply sighed. "Sister Amy," he said, his voice soft but firm, "I am aware of Gladys's intentions. And I have been praying for her. God works in mysterious ways, and sometimes, a direct confrontation can harden a soul further. Instead of creating a scene, let us both pray for her turnaround. Pray that God touches her heart and guides her back to the fold." Amy, though still reeling, nodded. She understood Reverend Thomas's wisdom, the importance of faith even in the face of such blatant hypocrisy. She joined him in prayer, their whispered petitions filling the quiet sanctuary. A few nights later, a small group of ministers, including Reverend Thomas and Minister Amy, were driving back from a late-night prayer meeting in a neighboring town. They took a shortcut through the town center, a route they rarely used. As they passed a brightly lit establishment, the one Amy had seen Gladys frequent, their headlights caught a scene that made their blood run cold. There, in the center of the dance floor, bathed in flashing colored lights, was Gladys. Her form-fitting dress seemed even more daring under the club's glare. She was laughing, her arms around two men, her body moving to the rhythm of a provocative dance that left absolutely nothing to the imagination. Her true colors, so long hidden beneath the veneer of piety, were brutally exposed for anyone to see. The ministers fell silent, the unspoken horror hanging heavy in the car. Gladys, lost in her revelry, didn't notice the passing car. But the ministers saw her. They saw the woman who had so convincingly played the part of the devout servant, now shamelessly displaying her true self. The encounter was a devastating blow to Gladys. Caught in such a compromising position, her carefully constructed facade shattered. The thought of facing her congregation, of meeting the eyes of those who had admired her, filled her with a paralyzing shame. She couldn't bring herself to return to St. Jude's. The sanctuary, once her stage, now felt like a place of judgment. Soon after, a new face began to appear in the choir. Sister Jessica, a young woman with a bright smile and a voice that, while not as powerful as Gladys's once was, possessed a genuine sweetness and an undeniable sincerity. She was eager, humble, and seemed to radiate a quiet joy. Within weeks, the whispers began again, but this time they were about Jessica. Her earnest faith, her dedication, and, yes, her surprisingly strong and melodic voice. Before long, Sister Jessica was stepping into the role that Gladys had so dramatically vacated, becoming one of the new lead singers, her presence a gentle, hopeful counterpoint to the memory of the fallen star.